This is 4 habits every 18-year-old to 22-year-old needs to be doing. If you're not doing this, bro, you're literally just cooked. Like this is bare minimum. You need to be doing this or you're just fucked. I can't put this in enough words. But we'll get into it. I'll go into the 4 habits. If you're not doing this, I'll put a solution, an easy solution, not an easy solution, but a simple solution rather, that you can implement right away. So without further ado, we're going to habit number 1. This is waking up on time. And before you guys go, oh, well, obviously, I'm going to go more in depth into this, okay? If you are supposed to wake up at a certain time every day, let's say you tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 8. I'm going to go hit the gym or whatever. Let's say you're supposed to wake up at 8. 8 o'clock rolls around. You hit snooze and you sleep in until 8:30, 8:45, like maybe even 8:05. That is so bad. I can't, I'll go into detail why it's so bad. The first thing you did when you woke up is you broke a promise to yourself. You literally told yourself the day before, I'm going to wake up at this time. First thing you do when you wake up is you don't even go on reels. You just press snooze. You just fucked yourself for the rest of the day. What does this do? This is programming your subconscious mind. If you guys didn't know this, your subconscious mind is responsible for about 95% of the decision making in your brain. What happens is your subconscious, it comes up with it, and then your conscious basically it is a consequence of your subconscious mind, if that makes sense. But what you're doing is you're training yourself to tell yourself that, hey, it's okay for me to lie to myself. It's okay for me to break commitments. What does this affect? Literally every single other aspect of your life. You wonder as to why you can't work out. You wonder as to why you can't start that business. Whatever it is, it all leads back to something as simple as just not waking up on time. So please, just wake up on time and keep your word to yourself. Very simple solution. This helped me when I was first starting to build this habit and not being a fucking bum, is just get your phone and then put it across the room from you before you go to bed and then set the alarm. So what happens when it's time to wake up is you physically have to get out of bed and then walk to your phone and then turn off the alarm. So now you're already up and going. Whereas most people, they sleep with their phone right next to them. So it's way easier to press snooze. And dude, if you wake up and you walk across the room and you turn off the alarm, you press snooze and you go back into bed, you're just fucked at that point. But that's a very easy solution. You just go ahead and put your phone across the room before you go to bed. When you wake up, it should be very easy to get up and going. So that's habit number 1. Waking up on time when you say you're supposed to, but more so just keeping your word to yourself. That's what I'd say habit number 1 is. Habit number 2 is just hitting the gym and having a consistent diet. This means hitting the gym 3 to 5 times a week and just making sure you're hitting your macros. Dude, if you're 18 and 22, 18, 25, whatever, really any age, man, you really do not have no excuse to not be in the gym. There's no negative to being in the gym. Okay? It affects every single aspect of your life more than you know. I'll start with the physical appearances. The hard truth is we do get treated for how we look. And a big aspect of how we look is our physique, right? Fat people, at least I don't know about you, man, but when I see like a really fat person, I don't respect them as much if I saw that same exact person, but they were lean and chiseled. That's just how it is. You're going to get treated way differently if you look better. It's good for your health. You're going to live way longer. Helps with dating, obviously, because if you're a guy and you're lean, you have way more chances of getting with that girl than if you're fat as fuck. So there's no excuse not to be in the gym. It only takes maybe 3-5 hours a week, right? If you just go in there for a 45-minute session, you can even go 3 times a week and just have a 3-day split a week and just train really hard, make sure you're eating enough and sleeping right, and you still make progress in the gym. I truly do not understand why people, like some people just not in the gym. You're just being a lazy fuck. Just get in the gym, okay? So that's habit number 2. Habit number 3 is journaling and self-reflection. Now, the reason why this is so important is that so many people, they drift in life. They have no clear direction. They just wake up and just do whatever, go to their job and get a check. That's no way to live. We only have one life, okay? What journaling and self-reflection does is it forces you to become more conscious of your day-to-day life. Because I'm sure you guys know, if you get in a routine and you kind of just drift, the days fly past. And before you know it, there's so many things that you wanted to do that you could have never done because you're stuck in this loop of comfort and complacency. So what the journaling does and the self-reflection, and what it did for me, is it allowed me to really build out my goals in terms of writing them out and reviewing every single week. Am I on track to hit these goals? Are there certain things in my life I need to remove? Are there certain things in my life I need to add? Are there certain people I should be around? Keeps everything top of mind, right? And this fixes the issue that a lot of people have where they don't have a clear direction they're going towards. I know exactly how much money I want to make. I know exactly how I want to dress. I know exactly how my wife is going to be when I meet her. I know every single aspect of my future and what it's going to look like because I journal it so intensely, which then causes me to be so much more driven and motivated to be able to work every single day towards these goals, right? A very simple solution for this is just sit down every single week and then just journal. Have a dedicated day, maybe on a weekend, so Saturday, Sunday. Just sit down for, it doesn't even have to be that long, 15, 30 minutes, and just journal. Journal your goals. Journal what you're doing good at in life. Journal what you could be improving on. Journal what you could remove from your life. Just things like that. Just ask yourself questions about where you want to be in life, what your goals are, and then over time, you're going to be more conscious of these things, which will allow you to make more progress towards them. All right? So that's the third habit there. The fourth, and most importantly, is the habit of being able to communicate properly. This is the most important skill ever. I'm going to explain why. Every single opportunity that you've been given or you've lost is due to your communication. You either communicated poorly or you communicated well. For instance, I'm just going to make it simple. Let's say you wanted to take a girl on a date. If you had communicated in a certain way, you could have turned her off, or you could have convinced her to go on a date with you, right? Something as simple as that. Every single thing in this life comes down to communication. We are social creatures at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people are forgetting that because we're so buried in our phones. Nowadays, maybe we should listen to our parents because we really are so buried in our phones. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people my age, my friends, we don't really go out of the house that much. The only reason why I have experience communicating, and I'd like to think I'm a decent communicator, is because I work a job in sales. Not job in sales. My business is related with sales. I am an insurance agent that's independent, meaning I run my own business essentially. And when I'm doing work, it's all sales. So I speak to people all day, which is the only reason I think I'm decent at communication, because I don't really go out the house much, right? So I can only imagine what it's like for a dude that isn't in a position I'm at in terms of my career, where let's say you're working a tech job or some shit. Bro, you're not talking to fucking no one, right? And this is why it's so important to learn the skill of communication, so that worst case scenario, you don't end up 30, 40 years old and having a midlife crisis or social anxiety or just alone in this life because you haven't garnered any relationships because you don't know how to communicate, right? That's terrifying. The easiest way to fix this is either, for me, I'm biased obviously because I'm in sales. You can get into sales. I think that's the best way to learn how to communicate. Or if you don't want to do that, which is completely fine if you don't, just record yourself speaking every single day. A really cool idea I got from someone is every time you see a movie or a TV show, you can just record yourself summarizing the TV show or the movie, things you thought were cool about it, and then rewatch it, and you can see certain patterns in the way you communicate, and then you're going to think to yourself, oh, why do I sound like that? And then you're going to make it changes over time. Things like that, right? So just record yourself speaking, and then another way to get better at communicating is go into low-risk situations where you can practice the skill of communication. So for me, at least, when I was more introverted, I didn't like talking to people my age because it just felt like there was more at stake there. But if I was talking to like an older person, let's say I was 18 at the time, 19 at the time, I'm 21 now, but just for example's sake, when I was 18, 19, I was more introverted. If I wanted to get better at it, I would just look to speak with like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old person, maybe 70-year-old, because there's a lot less stakes there. I don't know if that's for you guys too, but for me at least, I just think it's a lot less of a daunting task just speaking to an old grandma than like a girl my age, right? So you could just do that, like go on a walk around your neighborhood, or when you're at the grocery store, just like spark up a conversation with an old person. And if you do that and record yourself over time, you're naturally just gonna get better at communicating. Or like I was saying, I'm biased obviously, but you can get into sales. But yeah, that's 4 habits every 18 to 22-year-old needs to be doing, or you're fucking cooked. I've been cursing a lot this video. Let me chill out a bit. But or you're just cooked if you don't do those things. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to follow me on IG or ask me any questions about getting into sales and making 10K a month remote, hit me up on IG. I'll put in my description.